Is this a draw to build on with the fight back in the last minute?
It has to be, though. First of all, and I'm sorry, I want to apologize for that the players are not coming. It was my decision. Like, we have to leave as soon as possible because of weather. So we take the airplane and make sure it's been a long night. So we make sure that it's not that long from now on. Yes, I think it's very positive. I mean, even though it was a tough game, all the delays, all the issues, the what happened with Andrew, we had to stop him at halftime due to, I think, that kick that he received and no call, no foul. And I think that disadjust the shape of the team. But I think the fight, the competitive mentality, I think we were a little bit unorganized at times, but with the right mentality, with the right attitude to come back into the game. And I think it was a reward for the players' heart and passion to come back in a tough game, very difficult game.
How did the weather delay or lightning delay of almost 3 hours affect?
I think it certainly affects. I mean, I cannot tell you that more on us than them. I think it was the same. So in that sense, it's not an excuse for anything. I think it's just part of the adversities at times you have to face. But the good part is it was even. It was for both sides. So it was certainly an issue, but I think didn't affect the result of the game.
The 2 goals allowed seemed to be, again, kind of self-inflicted mistakes. A turnover in your half of the field on the first one, I think it was, and then unmarked player at the back post on the second. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think we've been struggling with that. We know that we need to adjust that. Again, I feel like it's not from moments where we are organized. Mm-hmm. I think it's more moments where we are not that organized and a little bit of wall watching inside the box that we've been talking a lot about, that urgency, especially inside the boxes on both ends. But I mean, a good way to come back to that is obviously clean up those soft goals that we've been giving up. But another good way is just attack more and mm-hmm. just continue with the attack, because every time Thiago is on the ball in the attacking half, Marcelino, Luis, we look dangerous. We look with some sense of danger in the opposing goal. So we just need to attack more than what we defend. And when we defend, obviously we need to be a bit more solid.
Is Gutman's issue, it looked like he was pointing to his groin on the television. Is that what the injury is? Or
I think it was more kind of closer to the hip or the quad on the outside. I mean, I don't know if it was the tackle or it was just, due to this warming up and come back. We are going to make the test and see what's the prognosis for that.
And you said at times you were a little bit disorganized. Why was that, do you think?
I think at some point we tried to make a risk, take some risks, putting 2 forwards up mm-hmm. front. And kind of a back 3 now, very definitive with 2 wingers, kind of Luis on the left and Brooks on the right. But at times, probably, at times you cannot pass the message as good as we want to. And Luis was inside trying to make something out of that. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have a proper winger on the left side at times. And then we were broken with only Rossetto or Emerson at the end as holding center mids, and there were gaps. And we were willing just to take those risks because we needed to push for the equalizing and eventually the winning goal. But we take that risk from the bench.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else here.
Felipe, do you have anything?
Felipe's on? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I've just got one question. Gonzalo, first of all, it was a nice comeback. I'm sure that you, like you said, credit to the players for the effort. I remember earlier when Thiago Almada first arrived, you're going to figure out how he would best fit in the starting 11. It seems like you figured that out. What led to that? What sort of what did you see in training? What did you see in film? How have you gotten to know Thiago? And obviously he feels a lot more comfortable in the middle. What led to those decisions on your behalf?
It's been happening organically. Felipe actually is not like, I'm sorry, I don't want to take the credit at all on that, what you just said. I think the player, Thiago, and his teammates around, they are figuring out, it's not me. It's again, the best solutions we as coaches we can get are the solutions that the players give you in every training session, in every game. And you just have to notice that. So I noticed that Thiago being the number 10 with Marcelino coming inside, Luis at times inside, at times outside, Rossetto with some rotations in there, works very well because they are very good at finding spaces in between the lines. Marcelino, Rossetto, Luis, and especially Thiago, they are very good on that. And once you get there with their talent, they produce. So I think it's just all credit to them. I wouldn't highlight just Thiago. I think today Marcelino had a tremendous game. I think Luis at times disappeared at times because they were very aggressive on him. But there were many positives out of those attacking players today.
And just last one for me, one more on Almada. He, you mentioned the number 10, and I think we've had a lot of discussions with you about what that means for you and what that means to Atlanta United, this version of Atlanta United. How do you describe the 10 as in this, the way that Thiago Almada is becoming that sort of that role player?
Yeah, I define the number 10 by the player that can occupy the gaps in between the lines and then be effective producing goals or assists. I think it's a position that it's in extinction a little bit, there are not many number 10s in the world, and we are happy having one of those few in our team. And but at the same time, I would say that it's not just a position, it's more that type of clever player that can unbalance the positions, because you see our shape at times, even Thiago drops a little bit deeper. At times he plays on the right, a little bit on the left. At times he goes higher in the field. It's more that freedom that player has to unbalance things within certain order and organization in terms of rotations. But that's how I would define our type of number 10s.
And then finally, is it a surprise to you that Thiago Almada has not really needed time to adapt? I know you talked about patience at the beginning and giving him time, but I mean, clearly he has the quality to just sort of play in this league, probably in any league.
Yes, I would say that it took a little bit of a while to really express himself properly. I remember at times I was criticized by putting him just at the end of the games and not starting him right away. And I said, at some point you will see that this will work. I think my plan was progressing him so he didn't have the weight of the team completely since the very beginning. I think it was a progression of certain minutes here and there. But again, credit to the player. He's been very good at connecting with his teammates. He's willing to connect with his teammates and looking for connections around him. So I think it's, again, credit to a great player. We have a fantastic player, and you can call me crazy, but I still expect even more from Thiago. I still think that he can be even better at times, and we're going to try to work with him to put him in his best shape so he can be an outstanding player for us and for the league.